All right, hi you guys. Welcome to our team training turned group-wide training because I decided to invite all of our amazing teams in our group to this training tonight because I know that it's something that this topic is something that a lot of people have requested to talk about, get more info on. It's just something I think that a lot of us struggle with, myself included. So managing our time, managing the obstacles that we have in our businesses and in our lives, and trying to figure out how to get it all done and still remain somewhat sane. So that's what we're talking about tonight. We are going to be talking about time management was kind of the basis for this, and that is kind of what it's pretty much what we're gonna focus on, but I do just want to talk about some of the other things that, shoot, I forgot to bring my iPad in here, that people had brought up. And actually, I'm gonna pull this up on the side really quick, because I meant to pull it up on my iPad and I forgot to bring the iPad in here, but I had asked you guys in the event on my team page about what some obstacles that you guys encounter in your businesses are. And you guys had some really great answers. And I do want to touch on those too as we go through this. So I pulled it up and I'm just going to kind of set it aside over here until we need to get to it. So time management. Oh, before we get into the training, I just wanted to do one housekeeping thing. I wanted to remind you guys that, well, we got paid today. So if you didn't know that we got paid today, you need to go check your pay portal because we got paid today. And if you earned annual sales or annual mentor, Leah, I'm calling out Leah because she earned annual sales, you also got your bonus. So you could have gotten $1,000 bonus in your pay portal this month. Leah and I were lucky enough to get that, but we got paid today. So my whole point on this is that SFR registration is still open and it is $11. You guys, I went to Starbucks the other day and I spent $11.62 on a coffee and a breakfast sandwich. I could have got like 3 days of training for cheaper than my coffee and a breakfast sandwich. It's $11. If you have not registered for SFR yet, just go do it. Just go do it. It's like going to take you 30 seconds on your workstation. Take $11 out of your commission check. I think you can even use your pay portal to pay for it. So you don't even need to use a credit card. Just use your pay portal funds and then attend SFR. It's totally worth it. Everyone who has attended in person or virtual will agree with me. So just go do it. I think that's all I have. Oh, no, the other thing I was going to mention was tomorrow's clearance restock. So I just wanted to remind you guys again that you need to have an active PWS if you want your customers to be able to shop this sale tomorrow, because from what I'm hearing, we will be able to access the clearance items through Workstation. Like if you type in specifically what you're looking for, you can add it to a party through Workstation, but you're not going to know what you're looking for if you don't have a PWS and you can't see what's on sale, right? So if your PWS is not active, go activate it. Okay, so you can get some PRV tomorrow. It's happening 1 o'clock-ish Eastern time. So whatever time zone that is for you, there will be a queue. Make sure you read everything in the Workstation article so that you know what to expect. We have no idea what's going to be included. We have no idea what kind of discounts it's going to be, but the good stuff will go fast as it always does. So it's going to be fun to kind of see what they add to it tomorrow. Okay, so time management, because I can get like really way off topic and that's not good for time management. So let's actually talk about what we're here to talk about. All right, so you guys, we are all busy. I'm going to start just by saying that we are all busy. It doesn't matter who's busier than who's got more kids than that guy, who's got more jobs than this person. It doesn't matter. We are all busy between families, kids, sports, doctor's appointments, jobs, responsibilities, elderly families, whatever. It doesn't matter. We are all busy. We are all trying to figure out how to get it all done every single day. Okay. And it's funny because I hear all the time, and I say it myself too, if I only had more time, if there was only 5 more hours in the day, I could get it all done. No, because likely if by some miraculous thing, we got 5 more hours in the day, you guys, we'd fill it with something else. We still wouldn't get it all done. So it doesn't matter how much time. I mean, we're not going to get any more time. But even if we did, it wouldn't matter because we would fill it with more things and we would still be chasing down our to-do list all the time. So we have to manage the time that we have because we're not getting any more. And quite honestly, I don't see anybody's lives becoming less busy. So we have to figure out a way to manage it all, because if we don't, we are just going to continue to tread water and try not to drown in all of the things that we have to get done every day. But we are all busy. There is not a person that I know of or that I can think of that is sitting around. I mean, maybe some people who have lived most of their life, they're probably the only ones sitting around on their thumbs going, gosh, I wish I had some things to do, right? Because I know I'm not like that, and I'm pretty sure none of you guys are. So we really just have to figure out how to manage the time that we have, maximize the pockets of time that we have in our day for Scentsy. So I'm going to be talking about Scentsy stuff. Like, obviously, everybody's busy. Everybody's got activities and jobs and commuting and all of that stuff. But here's the thing. If you want to grow your Scentsy business and you want to be successful in this business, you have to figure out how to get time to work the business in your life. You have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no magic potion. There's no magic wand. There's no magic pill. You guys, we cannot wish ourselves successful. Just like we cannot wish ourselves skinny. If I could have wished myself skinny, I'd be a heck of a lot skinnier. If I could wish myself successful, I'd be a heck of a lot more successful, right? We can't do it. It doesn't work. You have to put in the work. In order to put in the work, you have to make the time to put in the work. You can't expect to get results if you're not willing to make some sacrifices and do the things that you need to do so that you can get your Scentsy stuff done. I hear a lot about how I want to do this. I want to grow my team. I want to hit whatever the next title is, star consultant, director, whatever it is. I want to do this. But the work to get there isn't happening. And I love that people are ambitious and they have goals and they have the intention that they want to do these big things, but you have to put in the work. It doesn't just happen on its own. Okay. So if you want your business to grow, you have to make it a priority. Okay. It doesn't need to come above your family or your kids or your health or that kind of stuff. But only you can figure out where in your list of priorities Scentsy is going to fit. But I can tell you right now, if it's at the bottom, you're not going to be seeing big results. You're not going to be seeing the big paychecks if you're not willing to stick Scentsy in somewhere up towards the top. Okay. It takes work. I'm not saying you got to work 24/7 on it, but you got to put in consistent effort. I'm going to say every day. Granted, there are times where you're not going to work every day, but consistency. You have to put in consistent effort. You can't just show up on the 1st of the month and be all gung-ho about this month's goals, and then by the 5th, just completely have fallen off. Not posting in your VIP group, not reaching out to your customers. It doesn't work that way. You have to be consistent and you have to make it a priority. Otherwise, you're not going to grow. And you're just going to keep spinning your wheels and going, well, why am I not getting anywhere? Because you're not doing the work that you need to do to get there. Okay. So we have to make the time. We have to make the time. So I'm not going to get into those specific examples yet of what gets us hung up, what the obstacles are when we have in our business, but just speaking in generalities, 3 things that really impact us when it comes to managing our time, when it comes especially to our Scentsy businesses, are these 3 things. Okay. Priorities, like I said, planning, and procrastination. Those are the 3 things that will bury you, because if you don't have your priorities set, and I'm not talking about like just, I have to go to work, I have to feed my kids, and then I can work on Scentsy. I'm talking like within that Scentsy category, you need to have your priorities going, because if you're spending hours and hours and hours doing things that are not income producing and that are not helping you grow, then you're wasting the time that you have instead of maximizing it. So you need to have priorities. You need to plan, and you can't procrastinate, because when you procrastinate, then comes in this thing that I saw in the answers from my question yesterday was I get overwhelmed. I have so many things that I want to do or that I need to get done. And I just don't do any of them because I have so many, I don't know where to start. Part of that, not all of it, part of that comes from procrastination. Okay. The other part just comes from overload and all of the great ideas that people share. And I get that. I feel that too. All right. So I want to do a little bit of math with you guys, a little breakdown. And I did not come up with this math. I mean, math is math, right? I didn't create it, but this breakdown was actually done in one of the breakout sessions in last year's SFR. Shauna Davis broke it down, and I'm going to break it down too. And keep in mind, you guys, this is an example. So this may not mirror your own life, but use it as an example so that you can kind of figure out your own schedule. Okay. Because what do I always hear, or what do we always hear? The biggest reason, obstacle, excuse as to why people can't work their business is they don't have time, right? I'm too busy. I don't have time. So we're going to talk about time, and we're going to talk about just exactly how much time we all have. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. That is 168 hours a week. Awake time and sleep time total, 168 hours a week. So we're going to break it down. And we're going to back out hours of things that we have to get done so that we can see how much Sensi time we could have that we could work our businesses. Okay. So 168 hours a week to start with. I'm going to give you, sleep is very important, right? We're going to give you 8 hours of sleep a night. I don't get 8 hours of sleep a night. I don't know if you do. If you do, cool. I usually probably get between 6 and 7. If you get more than that, you probably don't have kids. But I'm going to give you 8 hours a week. So 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day. Sorry. Oh my gosh, 8 hours a week. That would be awful. Wow. 8 hours a night or day, 7 days a week. That's 56 hours of sleep. We're taking that 168 down to 112 hours. Okay. Work. Again, remember, this is just an example. I'm going to say that you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I know most people work different shifts. You might work 12s, you might work whatever. We're going to use 8 hours for an example. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 40 hours at work. Okay. Commute time. We're going to say 1 hour each way, 5 days a week. That's 10 hours of commute time. And then we're going to block in, or we're going to give you 6 hours every single day for all of the other things that you have to do. So getting your kids to school, making dinner, cleaning house, kids' activities, your workout, your self-care, whatever it is, 6 hours a day. That's a lot. It's a lot. So after all of that stuff, after your sleep, your work, your commute, and your 6 hours of miscellaneous, whatever you need to get done, leaves you 20 hours a week. Divided by 7 days gives you just shy of 3 hours a day. You probably doesn't feel like you have 3 hours, spare hours in your day, does it? It doesn't feel like it. But if you break it down, and some days you might have more, some days you might have less. I get it. But we're just using this as an example. 3 hours a day? Do you know how much stuff you can get done in 3 hours a day? A lot. But we don't see it that way, because what do we do with those 3 hours a day? Whether it's a pocket of 10 minutes here or 15 minutes here or 30 minutes there, we scroll Facebook, we watch a show, I don't know, whatever, right? We fill that time with mindless stuff or with other things. So there's time, right? There is time in our days. We just aren't using it the way that we need to in order to make the most of our business. And I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I mean, I will scroll Facebook and I will go down that Instagram Reels rabbit hole where you're like, I'm just going to watch like 2, and then it's been an hour. Okay. I get it. But again, it all comes down to priorities. Okay. So you have to figure out those 3 hours. We're going to keep going with our example. Those 3 hours that you have in your day, in your 24 hours, where are they? Everybody's different. So this is all, just kind of use this in your head, because it might be, somebody who works maybe not like a second shift, but maybe like a later, where they go into work a little bit later, they might have a chunk of time in the morning where they could work on Sensi stuff before they go into work. Or if you work an earlier shift and you come home and have some time, you know, after the kids go to bed, you could get an hour or two of Scentsy stuff in. If you work different hours, your pockets are going to be in different places. So you have to figure out what kind of activities that you can do in whatever pockets of time that you have that are going to help your business instead of scrolling Facebook, because that's not getting you anywhere. And if you are scrolling Facebook, I hope that you're doing it with intention and that you're commenting on people's posts and that you're interacting with your friends and your customers and you're posting on your VIP group and you're posting in your parties and things like that. Like if you are on Facebook and Instagram, I hope that you're using that time to do things that are going to be productive instead of just mindless scrolling. Okay. Yes, Ashley, I agree. There are days where I'm like, there 3 hours. No, I don't have it. Like today when we went from school to gymnastics to ninja to Taco Bell to home, and I literally shoved the taco in my mouth at like 8:40. So I get it. All right. So now that, I mean, we haven't figured out where your pockets of time are, but this is something that you need to do on your own. But once you figure out where your pockets of time are, it's time to start looking at the things that you want to get done in your business so that you can plug those into the hours or the minutes that you have. Okay. You don't need large chunks of time to be productive in Scentsy. And remember, there's a difference between being busy and being productive, right? A lot of us are very busy, but we're not very productive. So you want to be as productive as you can in that time that you have and not just busy. One example that I wrote down in my notes as soon as I started thinking of things that I wanted to talk about was, I know that Tara, and I'm gonna call her out, she listens to trainings when she's driving to work and home, like on her commute. So she maximizes, let's say she has an hour commute each way. I don't remember how long it takes her to get to work, but let's just say it's an hour. She could watch this training or listen to this training. You don't need to see me. She could listen to this training on her way to work and learn something instead of just listening to the music or to a talk show or whatever. Okay. It's things like that that we might not think of doing, that something very simple, because, you know, we do these trainings. I do these trainings, other directors, a lot of the other groups that we have, or like the group that did the live trainings on Saturday. Like I know people are busy, but I hate to say this. I know I'm going to sound like a huge jerk. I can't, like, the excuse that I'm too busy just doesn't fly, because if you want to find time for it, you can find time for it. Listen to it in your car on your way to work is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? If it's a priority for you, you will figure out a way to get it done. If it's not, then you won't. It's that simple. We all know that. We don't want to believe it because we want to say that we want to grow our business, but we don't want to take the time to do the work to get there. Okay. So, like I said, use that as an example. You could listen to a 1 hour training, or those other ones from Saturday were shorter. They were like 10 or 15 minutes. Tara could have knocked out like 6 of those, let's just say, in her 2 hour commute, right? That's using your time wisely. Okay. Leslie says, sometimes I listen while I'm at my full-time job. Well, don't get fired, but if you can do that, great. That's a great way to maximize your time, right? If you can do that at work, awesome. Okay, so the thing is, like I said, once we figure out where our time is, we need to figure out what we need to do with our time, right? And planning, which was that second thing that I said we kind of get hung up on after priorities, is a really big part of that. Because if you have 30 minutes in your day where you can do Scentsy work, you don't want to spend 15 or 20 minutes of that 30 minutes going, oh, okay, what do I need to be doing? I have to do thank you notes, and I have to do VIP mailers, and I have to don't spend time thinking about it. You want to spend that time doing the things that you need to be doing. So making a plan, or at least getting your list out in front of you, if nothing else, needs to be the first step. What do you have to get done? Now, I'm big on, I'm a paper person, and I have a notebook all the time. Literally everything that I can think of is in my notebook. Everything. I'm a big person that I do a lot of brain dumps. So if you've never done a brain dump before, I do them at least once a week, because all of these things get piled into our heads, right? Whether it's Scentsy stuff or kids' schoolwork or field day and doctor's appointment and baseball game and all of these things, right? And they all get packed into our head and we forget half of them because there's so much going on in there. And then there's no way we're going to be able to think about Scentsy stuff because we all got all this other stuff going on. Brain dumps are amazing because it really just frees you of all of that stuff that you're trying to remember, and it just lays it right out on there. Brain dump, I mean, it's that easy. All you need to do is take a piece of paper, or if you're a techie person and you want to do it on a Word document or a Google Doc or a spreadsheet, whatever, just list everything that's in your brain, everything. So it could be thank you notes and contact my hostess and get the car washed and pick up the dry cleaning and take the kid to the dentist appointment and go to the post office, and whatever it is that you have to do or you have that is taking up space in your brain, get it out on paper, because then it's all in front of you and you can very easily organize yourself so that you know where your priorities are. First of all, you see everything that you have going on, and it can be a little bit scary when that happens, when your list like just keeps growing. But then you can categorize things and you can organize things. And I'm a Virgo, and so I'm all about that kind of stuff. And it really helps my brain when things are laid out and I can see exactly what needs to be done. So when I do a brain dump, I don't want to get off too much on a tangent. When I do a brain dump, I literally list everything out on a sheet of paper. And then I'll either use a highlighter or I'll just write like Scentsy or a S next to it or whatever. And I'll separate, like if it's something Scentsy that I have to get done, I'll highlight it. If it's a personal thing that I have to get done, I don't highlight it, or however you want to do that. So that's my categorizing. And then I prioritize things. If it's something super important that I have to get done, that gets put, I put a 1 by it or whatever. Because that way, like I said, you can see everything in one place, and then you can break it down. You can take the little pieces. What is it? How do you eat an elephant, right? Like you can't eat the whole thing, your whole big brain dump, but you can take little pieces of that. So you get all your stuff out on paper and you categorize it, and then you prioritize it. And now you have little lists or little lists of things that you need to get done. And then you look at your schedule and you say, oh, okay, I have from after the kids go to bed, let's say from 9 to 10 at night, I am going to work on Scentsy. And I have these 3 big things that I want to get done. I want to get my VIP mailers out. It's the 9th of the month already and they're not out. I want to get them out. So work on those. Okay. Work on them. That needs to be a high priority thing. If that is for you. Or if you need to get thank yous out, or if you need to do follow-ups, if your Amy little bubble if you use Amy and your bubble is creeping up in numbers over 100, like mine is, you need to tackle that, because it's not going to go away. It's just going to keep growing. And then it's going to be more daunting and you're going to keep pushing it off. And then you're just going to stop doing it. And then you stop following up with your customers and then your business tanks. Okay. So you got to get it all out. You got to organize it. You got to plan it. All right. So I'm going to tell you about one technique that I use. I'm kind of skipping around in my notes here because, like I said, I have a lot of stuff written down. I did a big brain dump on time management. And so I have lots of stuff written down. So I'm going to tell you guys about a technique that I use. And I didn't even know that there was a name for it, but apparently it's like a real thing. It's not something I made up in my brain and thought it was a really good idea. But it is called the Pomodoro technique. And I don't know if anybody has heard of it. Has anybody heard of that before? It's called the Pomodoro technique. I know there's Pomodoro sauce, right? Like in Italian food. But anyway, so what it is, let me bring my notes over so that I can explain it properly. So this is a technique. It's a popular time management tool that provides focused work sessions with frequent short breaks to promote sustained concentration and starve off mental fatigue. That's like the description that printed out. Okay. So it says that you should try the Pomodoro technique if you find little distractions often derail the whole workday. Raise your hand if that's you, because it's me, right? I got big plans at the beginning of the day and then 18 billion things pop up and none of it gets done because all of the little things come in and are like, chipping away at you. And I saw Ann say yes. And I know that you were one of the ones that said my days never go as planned. And so this could work for you. hopefully, you know, you still have to have the time to do it, but let me go through. And then, like I said, these are things that you guys can try in your businesses, and hopefully something that we talk about, you'll be able to implement and it will work for you. Okay. So it says the Pomodoro technique, try the Pomodoro technique if you find little distractions often derail your whole workday. If you consistently work past the point of optimal productivity, because that happens a lot too, right? We are working on this task and we are working on it and working on it and working on it, and we're burning out because we're thinking about all the other things we still have to do, but yet we're still working on this and we won't stop until we're done. If you have lots of open-ended work that could take unlimited amounts of time, if you're overly optimistic when it comes to how much you can get done in a day, yes. If you enjoy gamified goal setting, and then it says if you really like tomatoes, which I mean, I guess that is because it's called Pomodoro, but whatever. Anyway, so here's how it works. And like I said, I do this and I had no idea that it was a thing. I thought it was just, I thought I had this really brilliant idea. It turns out I did not. But anyway, so here's how it works, you guys. You pick a task, whatever your task is. So let's say it is your VIP mailers. And you are going to set a timer. They say 25 minutes. I usually do 30 minutes, whatever amount of time you have that you can do this for, but I'm going to tell you exactly how they have it written out. Set a 25-minute timer. Now, I remember from Laura Godwin's, my SSD's training on time management, she suggests using a regular old school like kitchen timer, not a timer on your phone, because here's why. You don't want this. I mean, is this like our biggest distraction in life? The pings and the dings and the buzzing and the everything else, right? Don't use this because then you're tied to your phone while you're supposed to be getting work done. So using a regular, you know, the twisty kind of kitchen timer or digital, whatever, something that's not attached to your phone. Obviously, you don't have to do that, but it made perfect sense when she said that, because I could put my phone charging in the other room and get my stuff done. And I'm not looking at it every time I see a little notification come up and then go on Facebook and reply. And then your 25 minutes is gone. Okay. Set a timer for 25 minutes. You work on your task for 25 minutes. And then you stop. And then you take a 5-minute break. But for 25 minutes, you are head down working on your task, whatever it is. Okay. And then you take your 5-minute break. Okay. And it has you repeat this 4 times. That's a lot of time. That's like 2 hours. I get it. We might not have a 2-hour chunk. Maybe on a weekend or a Sunday or something you might. So if you can't do 25 minutes, do 10, right? Or 15 if you can manage that. Or maybe you can't do 4 of them. Maybe you can only do 2. This is not, you know, this is something that you can scale to whatever works for your business. But then after your 4th one, you get a longer break. You get like 20 minutes where you can walk away, you can go take a walk, you can go have some lunch, whatever. But in that, whatever amount of time you set your timer for, you don't do anything else. So this is how I do a lot of my work. And partially for me, I like it because I'm a multitasker. And so, like I said, I always have like all those other things going on in my brain when I'm working on something and I'm thinking about what I need to do next. And I get very bogged down if I have something big like VIP mailers, which is why I use that as an example, because my mailers sometimes take me a long time. There's multi-steps in them because I make my samples, I bag my samples, I label my samples. Now, granted, my kiddos help me with a lot of this stuff, but it's still things that take time. So making samples, labeling, bagging, creating a newsletter if you do that, or creating some kind of insert to go in your mailers, stamping or labeling your flyers, all of that stuff, all of those steps take time, right? So if I tried to do all of that in one sitting, I would quit after step 3, because I would be thinking about all this other stuff and I would be bored. I get bored doing that same task for hours on end from start to finish. So for me, it's easier to take that elephant or whatever the thing is. This one says frog. How do you eat the frog? Anyway, breaking it up into smaller chunks. Okay, so let's use the VIP mailers for an example. Let's say I set my timer for 25 minutes. Now, I've already made my samples. Okay, I've already made them. I've already bagged them. I've already labeled them. I got them ready to go. Everything's ready to go. I still have to fold my newsletter, stuff my mailers, print my labels, put stamps on, seal the dang envelopes, all of that stuff. Okay. So I set my timer and I work on whatever it is, 25 minutes. I stop and I take a break. Now, what I typically do is after my timer goes off, I usually switch to something completely different. And by completely different, I mean, it could be I'm going to go clean my closet for 20 minutes because that's how my head works. Like I said, I'm a multitasker. So I would want to be doing all of those things at the same time. And I'm that person who says, oh, I have to go put this in the bedroom. And then I start doing something in the bedroom. And then I do that for a half an hour and go, oh, shoot, I was supposed to be working on this thing over here. So this way you can jump from task to task, but you're going to be able to go back to it when that timer goes off. So if I were to work on my mailers for 25 minutes and then my timer goes off and I take a break, I go to the bathroom, get a drink of water. And then if I want to go fold laundry, I can do that. And I'll do it for 25 minutes. And then I'll come back and I'll continue my mailers. And it breaks up that big daunting task into smaller chunks of time, but it allows you to focus on it for those 25 minutes or whatever timer you set it for, so that you are not distracted by all of the other things. Now, obviously, that's not going to stop schedule changes and things like that can pop up. But again, this is where if you have a chunk of time, whether that means if you have to get up, I mean, does anybody get up an hour before their kids get up? I don't. I can't do it. Good for you, Tara. I can't do it. I have tried. And I'll do it for like 3 days and I'm like, yes. And then I just stop. I used to do it to work out too. I'm just not a morning person. And I'm not productive in the morning because even when I do manage to get up, I'm a zombie. So it's not productive. It's me just getting up and being cranky for an hour before everybody gets up because I don't get anything done. So that doesn't work for me. But if it works for you, and I know it does for a lot of people. I mean, there's so many people I see that are like, oh, I'm up enjoying my coffee and then I'm going to get my this, that, and the other thing done before everybody wakes up. It just doesn't work for me. But wherever your most productive time of the day is, try this technique out and see if it works for you. See if it allows you to focus on a task for chunks of time uninterrupted. You have to make sure your brain is in it, though. You have to remember that you have to stay head down on that task until that timer goes off. And that's actually one of the things that is written in the notes that I took. So it says, once a Pomodoro is set, it must ring, meaning you don't stop until it's done. Now, obviously, if you finish your task, you stop, but it says it's an indivisible unit of time and cannot be broken, especially not to check incoming emails, team chats, or text messages. Any ideas, tasks, or requests that come up should be taken note of to come back to later or ignored if possible. And the stuff that I wrote down was from a website. So of course they want you to use their website to keep track of all their stuff, but you get what I'm saying. Don't check your phone. Don't check your notifications during that time. Just do the work. And you would be amazed at how much you can get done. Okay. All right. So I'm looking at my time. It's 9:34. All right. So I want to talk about another thing. And it's not really a technique. It's more of a system. And I know that there were some people that were talking about systems, and systems is like a whole other monster. But because I was talking about scheduling things and getting yourself organized and maximizing your time, I wanted to bring up a system that I have used. I don't use it religiously. I don't use this exact format, but this is kind of what I started using, and it's kind of old, so you would want to update it. But this is Christina Stainbrook's Scalable Systems. So Christina Stainbrook is another superstar director. She's fantastic, super creative, really great with this kind of thing with systems. In fact, I can probably link it, but if you go to YouTube and you search Christina Stainbrook Scalable Systems, she's got a couple videos out there that walk you through all of this stuff. Now, keep in mind, these are like 5 years old. So some of the things that she has listed obviously have changed, like email there's a lot of email stuff on here. And I know a lot of us don't do a lot of emailing anymore. There's more texting and things like that. So you can, obviously you're going to tweak these things to fit how you work your business. But what's really cool about it is that the way it's set up is that you have a specific day for, or a specific, how do I say it? Each day has its own like category of things that you do. So Monday is her customer day. So she does things like send out birthday postcards to her customers that have birthdays. So I'm just gonna hold it up. I know. Okay, so it shows up here. I know you can't read it, but I will talk about it. So this one says every Monday. And then down here, there's tasks for the Monday of each week throughout the month. So the first Monday, the second Monday, the third Monday, the fourth Monday. So you do all of these every Monday, and then you do these the first week. All of these the second Monday plus these, okay? Now, these are things, like I said, some of them are a little outdated. You would want to change these up, but it's a list that you can put in front of you and know that every Monday you're going to do these 5 things, and then whatever your weekly one is. Okay. So things like posting a motivational Monday, following up on your text messages from your customers. If you're director above, joining the leadership call on Mondays because it's every Monday. Sending thank you cards for PWS orders, scheduling Facebook posts to your VIP group, things like that. So things that take time, but you can get done on one day. It kind of helps you categorize things, and you'll know if you're using a system like this where you do specific things on specific days, you know what you're going to be doing because you get into the routine of doing those things on each specific day. Okay. So, yes, Ashley, she does. So yes, she has it all linked. That's where I grabbed it from because I had it and then I couldn't find it on my computer. So I went right back there. So Monday is her customer day. Tuesday is her team day. Wednesday, I think she uses as a catch-up day because she doesn't have anything written. She doesn't have a sheet for Wednesday. Thursday is hostesses and recruits. And then Friday is her business day. And like I said, there's different tasks. I'm not going to go through it all because you guys can go see this. Like I said, if you look up Christina Stainbrook, Scalable Systems on YouTube. And like Ashley said, she has her Google Drive linked right in the description of the video. So you can get to it really easy. And you guys, that kind of reminds me, a lot of the videos that are on YouTube from a lot of the really great consultants that we have within Scentsy, from at every level, they're not all superstar directors that do this. We have a lot of directors and star directors that have really amazing YouTube channels. And most of the time, they will link their Google Drives to their videos. So when I show you guys stuff, I'll be honest, 90% of the time, probably more, I got it from somebody else. That's what's so awesome about this community that we have is we can leverage strengths from so many different people. Even just going through to find things that I wanted to be able to reference for you guys for this training, I pulled things from Christina. I pulled things from Kimberly Polita. I pulled things from Chastity Robinson. I pulled things from lots of different people, and they're all different. But the cool thing is that you can take little chunks of each one of those and make a system that's going to work for you. Because what Christina has set up, it might not work for you. And that's okay. You can try it, and if it doesn't work, try something else. Or maybe there's one part of it that works for you, but some other stuff from this person's system works better. So use that, because the system that is going to be best for you is the one that you can continue to do and be consistent with. Because if you do something and it's not working, you're just going to quit. And then you're not doing anything. Okay. So again, Christina Stainbrook, Scalable Systems, I would definitely check out because this is really, really helpful, like I said, to kind of keep you organized. She had it set up to where she had a separate binder, like an ARC binder, like the Happy Planner ring system. And she had a separate binder for each day. And so she would take her binder, and if she had to go do stuff with her kids, she would have her binder with her so that if her son was at soccer practice, she could be working on stuff in her binder or whatever, because she had it. She was able to take it with her wherever she went. Now, obviously in 2021, a lot of our stuff is digital. So you could very easily just download this stuff into your phone, save photos of it or save files of it into your phone, and you've got everything at your fingertips. Okay. So there's a couple other things I just want to show you guys. And like I said, I will link as much as I can or at least direct you to these things, because like I said, it's all out there. I grabbed it from other people, so it's all out there, and I can definitely help you get to it. Oh, really, Ashley? That's kind of awesome. A Trello board with all of them. That'd be nice. I bet it's in that Trello group. Okay, so another one, and this one is one of my favorites, and I've used this, and I give this to most of my new consultants, is Laura Godwin's 15-minute a day program. So you guys, you don't need hours. You don't need hours. You can do a lot of stuff in minutes, but you need to be productive and you need to be consistent with it. You can't do 15 minutes a day once a month is not going to get you $1,000 paycheck or 5,000 or 10,000. And out 15 minutes a day once a month. It's not going to happen. 15 minutes a day every day, all month, consistently for 3 to 6 months or more. That's what you have to start getting into. That's why you have to figure out a system that's going to work for you, that you can stick with, so that you aren't starting over every month. You just keep rolling. Okay. So her 15-minute a day program gives you, she has 20 things listed on here. I'm not going to go through them all. This, I believe, is already in our group Google Drive. I will look and see, but there's a lot of stuff that you can do very, very easily in 15 minutes a day. And so a lot of times when I have had coaching calls or calls with you guys or chats with you guys, and you said, I don't know what to do, or I don't have a lot of time, or if your business has been in a slump and you're trying to figure out how to get out of it, I say take 15 minutes. If that's all you have, 15 minutes, but use it as wisely as you possibly can. Follow-ups for me are number one. If you need to figure out what you need to start doing consistently in your business, it's following up with your customers. If you do nothing else, follow up with your customers. Because that is gonna be what continues to get people ordering from you, and they're gonna continue to tell their friends about you too, because you follow up with them and you don't leave them hanging. Okay. That's just, I'm not even gonna get up on my soapbox for that, but there's a lot of things that you can get done in a very short amount of time. And this helps you because you don't have to sit there and go, well, what could I do? I only have 15 minutes. It's not enough time. I'm just going to scroll Facebook instead. Nope. Because there's 20 things right here that you could do in that 15 minutes, and scroll Facebook is not listed. Okay. So Laura's 15-minute a day program, I will make sure that you have, that is in our Google Drive. So if you need it, go to our Google Drive. It's in there. Let's see. Workstation resource. Daily Power Hour. Did you guys know this is in the workstation? Daily Power Hour. Oh, hang on one second. I just realized I was not in speaker mode. So whoever watches this, I'm just going to be a tiny little square, but that's okay. Whatever. Daily Power Hour is in workstation. I'm going to make this bigger though, because it helps me see what I'm showing you guys. What is happening? Never mind. Okay. So Daily Power Hour. This is in your workstation. It is a sheet of paper, and actually I'm gonna double that up with please hold. I have it here. Here it is. This one is called Power 30. I will link this too. Kimberly Polita made this. It's basically the same sheet as this, except this is made up for you to get done in 30 minutes versus an hour. So if you don't have an hour and you say, oh, I can't do that, I don't have an hour. If you have 30 minutes, you can get these things done. And it's income producing things that you can do in short amount of time, write it out, and then get it done. It's following up with people, adding new friends to your network, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever else, or offline. It doesn't have to be on social media. Meet some new friends at your kid's soccer game or your baseball game or whatever, okay? Add new people to your network, because the more people you have in your network, the more opportunities you have for new hostesses and teammates, right? Building relationships. That's, like I said, if you're scrolling Facebook and Instagram, please don't just do it mindlessly. At least be connecting with people while you're on there, okay? Sharing the opportunity with people, asking people to book parties, checking news tab, checking your team page for any updates or info or whatever, sharing on social media, talking about your business, talking about how it has blessed your life, talking about the benefits that you've gotten from it, how it has helped your family, how it could help other people's families, literally just posting on social media, because you don't want to be that person that the only time people hear from you is like today because we're having a clearance sale tomorrow. If you haven't talked about Scentsy or your business or anything to your customers yet this month, in the 9th day of the month, and all of a sudden you bust out a clearance sale, you're just a salesperson. And nobody likes that. Okay. So, like I said, connecting with people, if you're going to scroll Facebook, do it with intention. Okay. So, again, this power hour sheet is in the workstation. If you're someone who likes to have things in front of you visually that you need to know, like if you like to check the boxes, this is for you. I'm a check the box kind of person. I get it. Power 30, basically all the same stuff, but just made for a smaller chunk of time. Goal setting is huge too. And I know that, I post every month on the first of the month in my team page, what are your goals? And I get like 2 people, 3 people that tell me what their goals are. But here's the thing. I don't care if you tell me what they are, but I hope that you're setting them for yourself, because if you don't have a goal, then how do you know how hard you need to work during that month? Okay. And it depends. I mean, obviously it's different for every person, but if you're doing Scentsy to get a discount on your own products, and you want to buy X warmer and X whatever this month, and you want to make sure that you make enough to cover that, you need to figure out how much you need to sell in order to make the money back on that. Okay. Or if you are using Scentsy, if you're doing Scentsy so that you can pay off a credit card and you want to throw an additional $300 a month on your credit card, you need to know how much you need to sell so that you get a $300 paycheck so you can put that money on your credit card. And if you have your goal set at the beginning of the month, it's going to be in your head the whole month. And you're going to be pushing for that because you know that that's what you need in order to be able to pay that credit card or whatever the thing is. Okay. Setting goals is huge because it gives you something to work for. And you are more motivated when you have something at the end that you're reaching for. Okay. It's just like when they tell people like that start running, like sign up for a 5K because then you have something to look forward to. Right? This is like your 5K. Set your goal for the month. How much do you want your paycheck to be on July 9th? Do you want it to be $100? Do you want it to be $500? Do you want it to be $1,000? Do you want it to be $3,000? Whatever it is, stick it up on your wall so that you can see it every day. Figure out how much you need to sell in order to make that happen. If you need to ask your sponsor and to help you figure it out, ask. It's better than not doing it and then feeling like a failure because you didn't work towards anything during the month. Okay. And all of these things that I'm showing you are there to help you get to that goal. Okay. So let me look really quick. I had another one. Okay. We got 10 minutes. If anybody has questions, I'm kind of watching the chat, but if anybody has specific questions, put them in the chat. And I will try and answer them. Like I said, as much of this stuff as I can, I will link for you, whether it's linking it to a YouTube video or to someone's Google Drive. I will do that, not tonight, tomorrow. But all of these resources that I have that I'm sharing with you guys, they're all accessible by everybody. So this is not anything that I am keeping for myself, that I created myself, that I'm not going to share. I didn't create any of this stuff. I thought I created that 30-minute set a timer thing, but I was wrong there too. But, oh, this is what I was going to talk about. So what are those income producing things that we talk about that we should be doing? Because you guys, I've heard so many times, and I felt this way too, that making samples is an income producing activity. Do you think making samples is an income producing activity? Yes, no, yes, no. Because guess what? It's not. The actual making of the samples creates no income for you. The magic happens when you pass out those samples and then you collect feedback from your customers that you gave it to. Okay. So creating samples, while it needs to be a priority because you need to get them out, the getting them out is the priority. So the creating of the samples is the legwork that you're doing to get to the income producing activity of distributing them and collecting feedback. Okay. When you send out your samples, I hope that you are reaching out to people and saying, what did you think? Did you love that? Did you hate it? Or if you send a couple, which one was your favorite? That kind of thing. So income producing activities, like I said, are really important because if you're spending the time that you have doing things that aren't really growing your business, then you're not using your time wisely. So let me just read off, and I have this, it's called a weekly IPA tracker, not the beer, the income producing activities, and I can't remember where I found it. So I'm going to try and find it. It's got chocolate on it. Otherwise I would just scan it, but it's got chocolate on it. So I might just recreate it, whatever. But I'm just going to read a couple of these things to you because it's really, actually, it's a really cool sheet. It's got everything listed, and then it has like points. And you are aiming to get a certain number of points every month. Actually, it would be kind of fun to do this like a challenge. I think it would be, because I like a little friendly competition and I like to win. And so it might be fun to do something like this amongst our teams to see who can get the most points. But anyway, so there's 4 categories: connecting, marketing. I don't know what the other ones are. Anyway, okay, so here's some things that are considered high point income producing activities. Starting 5 conversations from someone else's Facebook post. So commenting on their post, asking a question, or complimenting them on their hair or their clothes. And again, this doesn't have to be on social media. This can be out in the wild too, okay? Not that you're going to carry this sheet around with you, but these are just things keep in your mind that you can be doing that can potentially help your business. Starting conversations with people, starting conversations with people who view your stories. If you're using Facebook or Instagram stories, if people are replying or reacting to your stories, I hope that you are at least double tapping to love their reply, to let them know that you see them, because that means a lot. Like, there are so many people that I like send something to them in their stories and I never hear back, and I feel like such a schmuck because I'm like, oh my God, they didn't even care enough to like say thanks. Don't be that guy. Okay. Make your people feel special. If they like your story, double tap it so it gives them a heart, or say thanks, or whatever. You can start a lot of conversations. I actually had a conversation with someone on Instagram the other day. I don't know if it's yesterday or the day before, that has like a lot of followers. And all I did was commented on her story about her daughter going to preschool or summer camp for the first time. And she was all nervous because she was sad when she was going in. And I said, I'm a preschool teacher. I said, I can pretty much guarantee she is having the time of her life right now. I know it's hard for you. It was hard for me as a mom too, but I've been on the other side, and the kids are usually totally fine. And we went back and forth probably 8 or 10 messages. This chick has like hundreds of thousands of followers, and I have like 900. But we had a conversation, and nothing will probably come of it, but it made me feel really good that this person that had hundreds of thousands of followers was actually having a conversation with me. That's how it can feel for other people too, okay? It doesn't always have to be directly related to making a sale or getting a hostess or getting a new teammate. You are making connections regardless, okay? Posting an inspiring post on your team Facebook page. Sometimes people need it more than you think they do. There's so many times where I post something and somebody will message me and be like, I needed this more than you know today. Okay. That is a big thing. All right. Post, a lot of this is social media related. So going live on your Facebook, whether it's on your regular personal page or a team page or a customer group, things like that. Unboxing your whiff box when you get it, unboxing your orders. People like to see people get stuff. I go live with my $5 Michael's mystery boxes, and I get more viewers on that than I think I do on any other post I ever make, because people like to see what's in the box, right? So I do it with my whiff box too, in my VIP groups, and people go crazy. They love seeing people open up stuff. It's just like the kids that like to see other kids open up their blind bags. Reaching out to people, asking them to host a party, asking them if they want a personal shopping link, asking them if they're ready to reorder. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to use your voice, and you have to ask people. 90% of the time, they are not going to come to you. You need to get to them first. Okay. Checking your workstation, reaching out to 3 current customers. So there's just a whole list of things on here that are income producing activities that you should be doing on a regular basis. Again, consistency is key. So you don't just do this thing once and then be like, well, nothing ever came of it, I'm not going to do that again. Obviously, you get to a point where if you're doing something and it's not giving you a return, it's time to maybe try something new. But if you have to do it for a certain amount of time before you can even see if it's effective or not. Okay. You can't just do it once or twice and then give up. Okay. Robin, what do you have? I don't know when you commented that. I'm waiting for her to reply. What do you still have? Okay, so we're oh, the IPA list. Okay. Oh, I did send it to you. That's right. Will you send it? Will you, can you post it or is it a file? I don't remember if it was a file or a picture. I can probably just get it from our conversation. Anyway, we'll figure it out, but I want to add it to the Google Drive. Okay. So we are almost at the end of this training and I didn't get through all my stuff, but that's okay because we can definitely branch off of this conversation on a future call. And I didn't even really get to those obstacles, although I did kind of in an indirect way. I'm looking at them right now. But a lot of it really is, you guys, it's the things that get in the way, the things that take up time in our day. But when we did that breakdown, you see there is pockets, there is time. It might not feel like it. And I know, especially for people who work longer shifts or people that have kids in activities, I'm one of them. I got kids in, well, right now I'm lucky because both the girls and Brennan's activities are both on the same day and they partially overlap. So we're in one place, but that's only for like the next 6 weeks. And then he's going to start hockey again and we'll be going like 5 days a week. But you have to figure out where you can work your Scentsy business. But the key, the big thing that I want to like drill into everybody's brain out of this whole thing is that if you want to see growth, you have to make this business a priority. There's no way around it. And if you are going to continue to say, I'm too busy, what you're really saying is that this isn't that important to you. And that's between you and Jesus, I guess, because I can't make it be important for you. It's important to me because this business, which started out, I mean, I know a lot of you guys on here don't know my story, but when I started this business, I wanted to make $100 a month because I felt guilty going to Target while my kids were in daycare because I didn't have a job. Like I have triplets. So if you guys are on here and you don't know, I have triplets. They are 8. I started Scentsy when they were 2.5, and I was feeling really guilty because I wasn't bringing in any money because I wasn't working. I was staying home with my 2.5-year-old triplets. And so if I wanted to go to Target or buy something on Amazon, I felt so guilty. And I felt like I needed to ask my husband for permission because I wasn't bringing any money and I didn't feel right spending it. So I wanted to bring in like $100 a month so that I could shop and not feel guilty. You guys, never in a million years did I think that I would be sitting on a call right now as a superstar director doing a training about time management. I'm not great at time management either, but I know that this business is important to me and my family. It allows us to go on vacations. It has allowed me to pay off my student loan debt. It has allowed us to pay off some pretty steep credit card debt. It allows us to, like I said, go on vacations without racking up credit card bills. It allows us to not have to use my husband's paycheck that he gets from Ford to pay for vacations. We don't have to do that anymore. And I've made this a priority in my life because it's important to me and my family. So if it is important to you, you will make it a priority. And if you need to reach out and if you say, I don't know what I need to be doing, I can help you with that. Or your sponsor or your director can help you with that. We can give you the tools. We can give you the ideas. We can give you the tasks. We can give you the resources. But what we can't give you is the will to do it. You have to do it yourself. Okay. And so I can't, when people say I don't have time, I'm too busy, I can't, like, I can't I don't buy it. Okay. We're all busy. We're all busy. I am busy. Okay. I get it. But if it's important to you, you will find a way. If it's not, you will find an excuse. Okay. You can't make excuses and money at the same time. You have to figure out it's one or the other. And I hope that some of the things that we talked about, you can take back to your business and try. Like I said, this Pomodoro method with the timer, I use it all the time doing Scentsy stuff and non-Scentsy stuff, and it works great for me. Give it a try, see if it works for you. I will upload or link to as much of this stuff as I possibly can so that you guys have everything that we talked about. And there's a couple things in here that I didn't get to that I will link to, just kind of task lists and things, more income producing activities that you can look and see what you should be doing with your time so that you're spending it wisely and you're being intentional with it. Oh, Karen. um, but anybody here can do this. Anybody here. If you want to make it happen, you will make it happen. If you don't, you won't. And it's not going to hurt my feelings, but I feel guilty. I'm the person who feels guilty when people aren't doing well, but really, I can't. Because I'm giving you, like right now, you guys all came to the table tonight. We fed you at this table. And I appreciate more than you guys know. I know there was 21 people on here at one point. There's only 18 now, but there was 21 people on here at one point. And I appreciate more than you guys taking an hour out of your day to spend with me and to be here and learn. And I assume that by being here that you want your business to grow. And if you do, then I hope that you will take some of the things that we talked about. I hope that you were able to take some notes. I will link all of this stuff. I want you to take some time and look at it, try some things, implement some things, and see if it doesn't improve your business. Because I can pretty much guarantee if you try some of these things and you do them consistently for at least like 2 or 3 months, not like 4 days. You got to do it for a longer period of time. But I promise you, you will see improvements if you do these things consistently. Okay. And the other thing that I was going to say too is do not wait for these monthly group-wide trainings or the boss up page trainings. Don't wait for those to get educated and to learn more and to absorb trainings. They are available on YouTube and our workstation 24/7, 365. Get in your car, drive to work, put on a training. Be like Tara. Listen to your trainings in the car. You guys, there is so much information at your fingertips. You just have to go out and get it. Okay. Whew, okay. Ooh, I crammed a lot in. I got a lot done, you guys. All right. So that is all I have. If you have questions specific to anything that I talked about, feel free to send me a message afterwards. Like I said, I will link all of this stuff up. I will share it. I'll put as much of it as I can in the Google Drive. And all of your directors, if you're not under me, all of your directors have the Google Drive, I think, posted in your team pages too. So you all have access to this. The entire group has access to it. So you can go and grab this stuff and do what you want with it. Okay. So thank you guys again for jumping on. I know I went a little bit over, but I appreciate you guys so much for being here. I hope that you were able to take some of this and make some improvements in your business. I want nothing but big success for all of you guys. So I'm going to let you go. And I hope that you guys have a great night. Don't forget about the clearance sale tomorrow. Go activate your websites if you haven't. Go sign up for SFR if you haven't. Reach out if you need help. And we are here for you. And we love you. And have a good night. Bye, guys.